William the Conqueror had recaptured York from the rebels. Now he wanted to teach them a lesson for defying him. He began a brutal campaign of destruction to crush any further resistance, known as the Harrying of the North. Villages and crops were destroyed. It is said 100,000 people were killed. With ruthless efficiency, William the Conqueror had secured obedience in his new kingdom. But it wasn't to last. It would be thrown into chaos by his own children. When William the Conqueror died in 1087, his favorite son succeeded him, King William II, known as William Rufus. But 13 years into his reign, disaster struck. While out hunting, he was killed. William's youngest brother took his place as King Henry I. But there was a problem. At the time, Henry's elder brother, Robert, Duke of Normandy, had been on crusade. When he returned, he was furious that Henry had grabbed the throne. From Normandy, Robert attempted to invade England to claim the crown from his brother. But he failed and returned home. In retaliation, Henry struck back. In a reversal of 1066, he crossed the Channel and invaded Normandy, intent on undermining his brother Robert's rule. His first target was Bayeux. This rich and splendid city was one of the jewels of Normandy. Henry was to begin his campaign by unleashing his forces on the city. Bayeux was about to feel the wrath of the English army. In the brotherly feud over Normandy, King Henry I set out to make an example of Bayeux, a town still loyal to his brother Duke Robert. Henry's archers took up position on high ground outside the city and faced an immediate attack by Robert's cavalry patrol. Having deployed their palings, Henry's archers were well protected against the cavalry charge. They defeated the first patrol. As Henry set his sights on burning Bayeux, more reinforcements arrived to join his army.
It is Caesar for Actus. Leoda shall lay them. But mean a word. Sir, andente to serve. For guarde freques, mit balvenes. Certes. Yeah, we are. Cletus, before our let us go.
Hier!
Fortwarde freques, mit baldenes. Alles with it. Ich live to hear it. Ich shall lay the yard. Today is none more dead. Certes.
Ansagen!
Fortwarde freques, mit baldenes. Alles with it. Yes. Ut readeth nu, Tullius. At me no word. Felleth.
The English approached Bayeux and saw that its towering stone walls would not be breached by manpower alone. Henry would need siege equipment and a defensible location to construct it.
He shall lay the wall. At me no word. Stand in the yard! Knitos! In the south, a bit of your armor! What fire! This Sunday! Ah, Knitos, yard! Today is number one! What is he ready?
Hier! Hier sind die Schildhände!
Knitos! Ja! Stressat jag! We are coming! Strelen! Strelbåren! Sise! Knitos, stand in the yard! Before the awakened! Let us guard! Fortwarde freques!
Hatens ge hände!
Fortwarde freques! Mit baldenes! Now, Sweden, med oss till attende! Ströja! Strälbara! Equilla! Alla Knitos! Varför inte ready? Avfalla! Knitos! In the south! Andente to serve! Nu, Jute is none more dead!
Ansagen!
Leder jag! Yeah, we are! Har vi kan göra armers! Hoppala! Utridet nu, Tulkas! Andente to serve! Utridet nu, Tulkas! At me no word, felleth! Ich live to hear the Tearfall!
Ansagen!
Knitos! Ja! At me no order! Ich live to hear it! Ich shall lay the yard! At me no order!
Erfordert! Hier!
Knitos! In the sun! Knitos, stand in the yard! Utrida nu! Fortwarde freques! Mit baldenes! Alles schüttet!
Hatens ge hände!
Fortwarde freques! Mit baldenes! Andente to serve! We shall live!
Underbleiben!
Ja! Knitos, stand in the yard! Santos! Knitos, in the south! Knitos, ja! Knitos, ja! Knitos, stand in the yard! Yeah! We are... Yeah! He shall lay the yard!
Henry now called for the services of a blacksmith to bolster the siege effort.
Alles with. Ut readeth nu, Tulkis.
Estes comende.
What surface, eh? Off each of...
What surface, eh? That's Shule Bayeux Timbran.
And your worker? Each a worker.
What surface, eh? Each a worker. Yes, sir. Where's the holler?
Each brocade.
Fair and on.
With a blacksmith on hand, Henry's infantry would soon
sir.
be ready to construct
Where's the
siege equipment.
Each will be a Delphinde. Here the fun with what? Yes, Delphinde.
Yaru to work. Gongende new. Yes, sir. West to Hala. Each timber theos.
Yaru to work. Ich gehe om je cellen. Each timber theos.
Yes, sir. West to Hala. Faradon. What surface, eh? That Shule Bayeux Timbran.
Henry's infantry could now construct battering rams, siege weapons designed to break open fortress walls.
Flanboga a rod. Bebuga strelbor. Thatimbren shall bear. Strelboran bereth.
Yerus Yaru Yaru.
Yaru to work. And your worker.
Henry's presence on the doorstep of Bayeux would not go unanswered, and now his forces braced for an attack by Robert's army.
That Shule Bayeux Timbran. What surface, eh? Each timber theos. Yes, sir. West to Hala.
Henry repelled the attack, but he knew that so long as Bayeux still stood, the city would not give up the fight.
Very your words, sir. Yes, sir. West to Hala. Eat your worker. Ike om je silly.
An are kuhiren.
What surface, eh?
Strailboren
Each
Yaru.
timbra theos. And your worker?
Hot me.
Flamboga
Each
Arod.
timbra theos.
Fuse to servant.
And your worker? That shule Bayeux timbran. Each your worker.
Strele Fuse.
Pull the hits.
Yaru to work.
Strailboren Yaru.
Yes, sir. West Duhala. Each your sayer.
Javide
Yes, sir.
Hesse.
Berende you.
Beudeth me.
Each timbra theos. There you worta.
Bram Jaro. Huskala Hildebus. Huskala Hedegonga. Javide Hesse.
What surface, eh?
Het blir fuldonne.
Each a worker. Yes, sir. West Duhala. Each will be a step. What surface, eh? That shule Bayeux timbran.
Javide Hesse.
Ram ring on well gender nu.
Huskala stand of hier.
Hestes kuma.
Yes. Hot me.
And your worker. Yaru to work. That shule Bayeux timbran.
Strailboren Yaru. What Hestes?
Huskala Jal Jaro.
Flamboga
Huskala
Arod.
Hildefus. Huskala stand of Jaro.
Dein Hestes?
Yes,
Death,
sir.
mate.
West Duhala.
Hot me.
An are kuhiren.
Yaru to work. And your worker. Each a willow hue would do.
Yarway.
Yes, sir. West Duhala.
Hot me.
Yes, sir. West Duhala.
Huskala Jal Jaro.
It shall be timbered this.
And your worker. a worker.
Yaru Ufa! Ichel Yudun! Dein Hestes! Und let las reste efter!
What third faith, eh? Each timber theos.
Fuscala Hildefus.
Each brewcade.
Eored Yaru.
And you work it.
And you work.
And your worker.
Stop.
That Shule Bayeux.
Yes, where's the water? And you work it. All the hits.
That's Sule Bayote, friend. Fuscala Hildefus.
Bayard May.
Yaru to work. Fetch in they would do. Yes, where's the water?
Fuscala Hildefus.
What the
Flamboga
thing?
Arod.
Yeah, Yaru.
Gathering in they would do.
What by Veru Sierra? Fuscala Yal Yaru.
Bayard May.
With the power of battering rams, the English army could crack open Bayeux's mighty walls.
Vin Hester.
Each a worker.
Fuscala Stab.
Here we are.
Ram Yaru. Gafremet Garu. Pelistafala. There we are. Be what thought we on us.
Yet to the resurgence. Eored Yaru. Look at you be thee ready, Frekis. At me no word. He shall lay the yard.
Yaru Hesum. Rendetolomba.
Veradon. And you work it.
Each a will a hua would do.
Look at you be its live to hear it. Fourth walde Frekis. Mit baldenes. Drösen yard. We are stood. Which readeth new, Tulkis. He shall lay the yard. Swap, which readeth new, Tulkis. Adita yara honors. Hopera! Judai is number done. Adapted to servant.
Bien, Serasiano.
Bayeux's walls had failed, and Henry's men could now storm the city. Robert's garrison made a last stand to defend Bayeux, but Henry would show no mercy in cutting them down and burning their city.
Fuscala stand up, Fuscala.
Wait the Yerwin.
Yes, sir. Straight for it,
rida forza. Vai Piero, alla Canitas,
Puska, stand up! Puskala! Puskala! Tandoga! Valentin Puskala!
Hitsisto! Puska, split, Reskilian, Canitas, stand in the yard, Dresset, yo, we have Kala. Each go, so ahead.
Voi Signore!
I fall the other way, lady! Let us go! Fuse to servant!
Underfunder! Find the arrows!
And all its limit to hear it! Yeah, ich am Gande!
Yes, sir. Questo your way. You all. Off with that.
Yes, sir.
With the team. With the team. Yes. Yes, sir. Understood. On with what?
We're beyond the short tonight! Griffiths, in the shot!
Here, a stigen on way.
Nu, jella.
Let them together.
Griffiths, ja! It's limit to hear it! Dein Hestes! Redenda Swahet! Ich go, Swahet! Yeah, ich am Gande! Redenda Swahet! Ich rede vor! Build Schilder!
Piero Seras Yaro! Ram Yaro! Piero Yaro Yaro!
Ström hard, man!
Yes!
Ich hab wieder gesagt, just!
Ik geef hem zo! Wij zijn Jerwin!
Abuga, streelborer. On stil.
Hold on! Bij Piero Seras! Ram Rinka!
Where they are?
Jaro Hessen. Ja, Jaro Puskala.
Den Hester.
Strelboren Jerwa.
Yeah, we are lift
Veras. Strelboren Jaro.
Beetje weer de Hessen.
Strelboren Jerwa.
Had mij.
Hesten. Let it, who's gone?
Je kan het voor. Hilde Bus, Buskala.
Helistefala.
Ietsje.
On stereo, campus. Je kan het voor. Be what? Pierre Ciaro Wergende. Pierende Hestes. Jerdonde, Swahat. Here we better. Who's got? Hold steady up, campers. You come with forth, we got. Hit in the headstand. Start the faster. Get in there, who's got? Hold steady up, campers. Vi siamo weekend straight Mondays. Vero Saro under Hildesjure.
Yeah!
Each upon me! Obisse, it's live to hear it.
You need to know.
Vieru seras jaro. Vieru seras I hashtag now. We sit Jerwin. For the Hilda.
Obisse is on a food.
As Bayeux burned and the people fled in terror, King Henry basked in the victory over his brother Duke Robert. But Henry would not stop until all of Normandy was back under the English crown. By 1100, the medieval knight was dressed from head to toe in mail.
Mail is really like a metal fabric. It moves and behaves like a cloth, but is actually made of hundreds and thousands of interlocking iron rings.
It could turn and deflect a sword blade.
As an armor, mail didn't work all by itself. It needed the addition of a padded coat. The coat absorbed the shock of the blow, whilst the mail turned away the cut. Together, they formed an incredibly effective protection.
The first stage in making mail was to create wire to the right thickness. To do this, it was pulled through a drawing plate, which had a series of ever smaller holes, until you got wire of the desired gauge.
To make the rings, we wind the wire onto a mandrel.
And then we take it off the mandrel and cut the rings.
So I've flattened the overlapping ends of the ring and I've pierced a hole through it. And now Nick has to put a rivet in it. The basic construction of mail would be a ratio of 4:1. So each ring goes through 4 of its fellows. Here you can see I've made a set of 5, which will then be joined to other sets of 5 to create a sheet of mail.
Mail had to be tailored to a perfect fit. It had to be shaped for feet and legs, arms and hands, and, of course, the head. A skilled mail maker could make very precise shapes.
Of course, for more complicated parts of the body, like elbows, we can actually tailor it in 2 different directions at the same time.
Yeah, so if we fold this in half, we have an elbow.
One of the main benefits of tailoring in mail was that it meant a knight didn't have to carry a single ring of extra weight that he didn't need to.
The mail to cover a knight from head to toe required about 200,000 rings.
High-status knights would have had their mail edged with gold, but most importantly, it had to be functional.
Clad in mail with his shield and helmet, the knight was well equipped to face the weapons of the day.